Plan solves number 1 unilateralism, Unit 15. Unilateral action by the U.S. historically repulsed the road to the international stock regime, and further action can be constructive unilateralism, most promising the corporate tax necessary to regulate behavior on a global basis. Number 2, political roadblock. It's the only thing blocking implementation. Government 24. Proposal of worldwide tax on royalty does not this for the Biden administration have limited chance of being implemented without U.S. support. A lot can be done through international cooperation. 3, capital flow and efficiency. They force tax spillover. Code ID 24. All tax of significant repercussions have the goal feature mechanism of finance. Continues global dynamics and effects power flows. Capital restore international strategies. Here significant spillovers to handle with climate change, inequality, test president, and linking economic and environmental policy, inspiring civil measures across the world. Number 4, climate debt. But genuine implementation is key. Also, 28. Energy crisis, inflation, climate policy, take a high income taxation doesn't only produce significantly passive. Introduce public university use as an example of dollars climate debt, climate policy, the USA achieve global climate goals. It solves inequality and warming, but global cooperation is to keep them 24. The tax that work also climate attached to Germany, States, South Africa, international communities, tackling inequality practices, gives back in increasing investment, social protection, education, climate protection, tax havens, offshore, other intermediate structures, and international cooperation, making such tax effective. Extinction by 2030, no good 28. Fire stuff, let's see waste reduce duties of migration, catastrophic climate change, 2030 emissions, reduce compensate the U.S. for decades, adaptive capacity, reduction, more additional amount of feedback, and 10 points generate higher GHG, slowing carbon dioxide lives, like on purpose, irreversible team cascade, loss of biodiversity, pollution, exacerbate vulnerabilities, economic loss of land and water, the disease, global catastrophe, worldwide collapse, independently compliance, secures resilience, all power, and fixes the multilateral order of energy. 28. Brazil's friendly order towards international interests for the multilateral international order, unique opportunity, G20, with the perspective focus on issue Brazil's initiatives, including the reform international financial architecture, provide leadership, addressing issue West positions leadership, expand the country's reticence to negotiate multilateral institutions, justice, and reforms, and personal realities, provides unique opportunity for agenda, bringing things under development. Brazilian leadership and global governance prevents extinction. Hawk 20. Big extension that Brazil leading world immense resource travel force, much harder, the world, collapsing Brazil, far-reach costs for global survival, second multilateral cooperation will determine governance regime for multilateral nationalism protection. Amazon deforestation causes extinction. Issue 22. Deforestation like the lower warmer drivers, harvester, desiccation of vegetation growth, also security for vegetation cannot be compensated, water supplies, Amazon hydrological system approaching irreversible transition last chance, Amazon global carbon cycle avoid catastrophe, US-led multilateral and also host of acceleration market M22. And Ukraine produce global poverty, cumulative last year's industry, geopolitical accession, recognized the nations best face organizing more effectively, risk of escalating geopolitical global norms of pressure could be high service calculation of disruptions to energy, weaken international order will see the climate crisis, existential comments, accelerate biodiversity, water security, space, and diseases threats to life. We must cover the diversion across country global consequences must bring collective thinking. We're going to address challenges without affecting multilaterals, reorientation issues, and mechanisms for cooperation, pillars, something on global economies. Let's see plan United States auto adopt world tax. We defend the world tax models. The Zucman standard proposed by Brazil at the G20 summit. Zucman 24. Individuals more than 1 million directly required to pay a tax and equal to 2% of loans and to be raising progress in international cooperation, restricting current tax taxes, effectively address regressive future contemporary taxes, improving taxation, reducing tax avoidance, preventing race to the bottom. Advantage issue is inequality. New data shows is high now. Yesterday, 24. In the first quarter of 2024, almost 2/3 of the lives all by top 10% this gap remains. Starting to work ratio so the economy is raising the gap is largest since the Great Depression. A wealth tax solves warming inequality and racial gaps above and 28. Wealth conservation record in billionaires at 86% ratio rate $100 or 50% raising to ultra wealthy countries taxes. Wealth taxes result rating in wealth inequality narrow the way she will go by 1% by black families. Wealth tax new brother and vital responding to the country based on identify investors of wealthy people. Investors a million times more emissions. Taxing essential tackling inequality and project climate justice. Pricing technology reality is unwilling to help with the tax law address extra because the plan solves empirics for wealth tax is most effective already 28. Superation their income high capital is non taxable or tax percentage 70 equality wealthiest only 58.2% federal tax. The interest 64% of Americans were 10.7 Democrats 53% of Republicans. Lower gross taxes help mitigate wage relative inequality. Top 1% only 30% total wealth. He's went down to central system wealth tax. All assets including those that brought out taxable wealth tax reforms only wealth concentration tax reduce. Loopholes enable capital concentration, drives polarization, and extreme inequality. Plans also to charting taxation. All 24. Wealth inequality drives economic conservation, power accumulates, clean solid aggressive recursive taxation, wealth taxes, avoided all these, ground all tax transfer, unlimited funds with no give tax institution, compelling nobody just in neighbors, wealth tax, drive down inequality, unwinding and places of suffering, best results, social declining, collapsing, entrepreneurship, institution, political polarization, terrorism, raping polarization, exploiting polarization, violent rhetoric, wealth inequality, demands rapid solution, polarization causes exceeding problem 20. COVID call for being more collaborative, highlight the vigilance for global peace and knowledge and tyranny toward WD, expose integrating global race demands and global response, partisan politics have a hamper effective responses that also make it hard to tackle as such as climate change, nuclear weapons, inequality causes extinction via leak capture, institutional collapse. Spin 24. Inequality creates extra climate change, institutional polarization, temperature, scarce resources, destabilization, conflict, inequality, hypergrowth, various health and foreign policy, inequality leads to leak capture, thereby reduce equality, institutions, reduce social capital, bad condition, increase conflict, nuclear, bioenergy, virus, misaligned AI, such as gas, fuel, escalation of arms races, exit taxes, third party reporting, compliance, infrastructure, broad classes, flight, and offshore and Cascade 19. Study on the increased wealth taxes, lower holdings, tax on before force third party reporting and audits, deter alteration for thinking, includes positive, a punitive exit tax for steps already been implemented FACA, institutions leave the obligated to tax by U.S. citizens, ability to uncover accounts, and independently causes the Civil War, model show the breakers down church unity. Wage declines that cause labor reduction, drivers, political instability, terrorism, civil war, political relationships, terrorism, drive the rise, relationship is non-linear, exposed to growth, balance shift, radical signals, to start a fire, relationship, power laws, normal statistics don't work, neighbor left wage shows, ultimately increase, radicalization curve, high levels of exposure in 2020, produce outbreak of serious violence, guarantees nuclear war in every hostile French 20. The moment the U.S. military guarantees me nothing, no plans to utterly defend the U.S. Russian China, holding U.S. weapons, if you reduce immediately, kind of reclaim Taiwan, swallow the Baltic, Russia to swallow the Baltics, Ukraine, Latvia, Lithuania within 72 hours with no withdrawal, and Germany to take across Japan, announced nuclear so false suit, runaway proliferation, multiple world regions, gender rapid nuclear extraterrestrials, Taiwan, Iran, spread to its own new rabbits, the framing. The center is consistent with hedonic extraterrestrialism, extraterrestrials are truly universal, not for the reject as a solar system that arbitrarily builds the image to you. NBC Nation, you call it across the university vision, the even complex image that should universal scrutiny, the power to kill life itself means that things John to be too easy, including the humanity wants to see their claims to universality concerned by the future whiteness. The death of all living human beings was continuing universalizability. This is the responsibility of risk. Many planetary contest debate by center as risk to saving nation or driver 18. Execution marketing as for us as estimated risk from the most common and the black wordness real to assay tendencies watch 120 when it's engaged to accurate human keep on like as risk the ministry as requires saving nation because their urgency to improve the communication as risk execution on waste marketing urging as risk more certainly not to be featured in the volume 0.001% weight non-constant not the latter about it minimally also virgin data virtuous must because we're pulling the collaboration research even that structure reason more to reduce the risk use absent models maximize collection topic issue by focusing debate on the contention and disincentivizing and studying our frameworks.
Cross-ex?
Yeah.
Does the Zucman model include banning income taxes?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. The limb evidence, you said solves warming inequality. The quote from the card is, the tax will cover about half the cost of annual damages caused from climate disasters. How is that equivalent to solving climate change?
Well, first off, it would limit the effect of climate change, which limits the impact of it, obviously. Second off, that is not the only internal link. It says that it would be invested into climate protection. That would be part of it. It's not fiated, but it says that those funds would be invested into climate protection. But wait, if you want more internal links, there's more. Okay.
The Banjuri evidence, it says that with, quote, with China, India, and Russia, it is a country that's trying to reform the multilateral international order.
Which card is this?
The Banerjee evidence, it says, quote, with China, India, and Russia, it is a country that's trying to reform the multilateral international order. What does like this reform look like?
Wait, our argument. Wait, I'm confused. What's
Okay,
your question?
you've read independent.
What do you mean? What does it look like? Like what?
What is that like? What do these reforms to the international order look like? Like, is that increasing U.S. hegemony?
I don't know. The card.
You've read an impact that says Brazilian soft power leads to change in the multilateral order. I'm asking you what that change looks like.
Well, we think that it would strengthen the United States' role. Our argument is that
Wait, so China, India, and Russia are working to strengthen the U.S.'s role in the international order?
No, it's not about China, India, and Russia. The argument is that
wait, that's literally what your card
wait,
says.
if you just let me finish.
Yeah.
If the United States implements a wealth tax and is the spear guide, our evidence says the sole reason it is not happening now is because there was political roadblock because the United States will not implement it. When the United States implements it, it's seen as unifying the multilateral order in the G20 countries, which allows for both Brazil's influence to increase and the United States' influence to increase.
Sure.
If anything, the argument about China, India, and Russia, that gives us uniqueness.
Okay, the card about like Amazon deforestation causing extinction, can you tell me like what's the scenario for it causing extinction? How? Like, is it biodiversity?
No, it says that it's necessary for the global hydrological system so that we can maintain water. It says it's necessary for the carbon cycle that allows for things like human life, etc. Like to make sure that we have like oxygen.
Sure. What's the scenario for like debt escalating?
I didn't read that scenario.
Oh my bad. Wait, what did you say?
The last two cards.
Just debt. Okay.
And like the Zucman 19 card.
You skipped Zucman. Okay. So like okay. The argument about like capital concentration, how does
which card is that?
The Oatley evidence.
This
is not in the version of it. I might be looking through.
No, you might be right. I just
like the loopholes enable capital concentration.
Oh yeah.
People like avoid taxes in the status quo. How does the plan solve that?
Well, the argument is that like. Okay.
Okay. So send it up. The order is 4 and then the case.
Say that one more time, sorry.
4 and then the case. The order is advantage 1, advantage 2. Let me know when you guys get it. Okay. Also, no, thanks for both the mouse and the case. Okay.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Are you good?
Yeah.
Are you guys all good? Okay.
First off, the sad economy booms out. Zucman 11.6 Wall Street. Excite capitalization was 1.62 trillion first bets ever. Investors hoping to increase cash flow, deregulation, economic expansion, mergers, ruled by current admin that's going to change less regulation, good for markets, well taxes result in economic stagnation, depress business confidence, punish efficiency capital, and deregulate investments that attended effects on the economy, depress costs of legal battle, well tax, to ultimately super rich, make investments happen, innovation, make new burdens on uninsured and neoliberal business trees, investment to create economic efficiency, punish success is the strongest intruder linked to growth. T20, 41 countries, 21, the 70 positive confidence positively affects growth, effective amplifying low confidence situation, confidence plays a significant role in the economy, it kills the stock market, shall land in 19, tax on unrealized gains will kill the stock market, nothing like this has ever been done before. Over the door to uncertainty, investors forced to sell assets into tax season, need to sell, make little investments, that's forcing selling at unknown times, increase volatility less, and you're trying to invest slowly at around the same time, place downward pressure, bringing investors pull money out, recession, meow 12, stock market bust, companies buy credit, bust and fall, investment and consumption, recession, follow, stock and unemployment, highly correlated, low growth, the 10% and no 900% high unemployment, credit percent constraints, reduce investment and higher, explain the rate recession, liquidity shocks, doom business, every 1% increase in wealth tax to liquidity ratio, reducing growth 0.5% versus 22 wealth tax real leverage, any tax independent of liquidity, income and consumption shocks, household liquidity shocks, liquidity firms, controlled by families with higher liquidity, pay higher dividends, cash withholding, increase 1% increase in wealth tax to liquidity ratio, 1% increase decrease in investment, 0.5% decrease in growth, and profitability, liquidity to shareholders, was modest corporate finance, and even change, steering liquidity away from shareholders, reduces performance. Almost every example proves qualified and got administrative gains, reduce counterproductive revenue group and crush the economy. Enoch 24 many well repealed. Wealth tax raised little revenue, create high admin costs and reduce outflow of wealthy individuals, high taxes, damage economic growth, fall, design, created problems in countries that didn't implement them, taxes, generate double, triple taxation for bonds and regs, wealth tax, confiscate all interest earnings, wealth taxes disincentivize entrepreneurship, leading to less innovation, less growth, and less growth, tax reduce wages, destroy jobs, reduce capital, all income streams are worse off, you decrease economic activity, taxes account for very small revenues, even a small increase in tax, to capital fight the sudden nature of the tax, magnifies the link, McGuire 16 and also vindication of this kind of highlight, changes a particularly rapid, large, unexpected, including large increase in tax rates, extinction, Young 24 analysis, shows the eco-show econ slowdown, increased complexity, divergent targets, explaining us and them scholars, particularly Russian domestic problems, so Russia's invasion, China and SES became more revisionist because econ went down, slow growth, and contributed to conflict, made leaders more vulnerable, change of balance of power, to international unity, drive states to universal stance towards partners. Next off, is Ukraine aid to the United States should pass Ukraine aid, the United States should ban Ukraine, the United States, you should make Ukraine aid unrepealable, pass, Ukraine aid, pass now, but it'll be heavy lift, focus is key, Penella 11.7, clocking on aid to Ukraine, White House and Inquiry, one track before January, but it'll be heavy lift, the plan stops PC and floor time is a heavy political lift, hole marker, some no problem with the tax code despite divisions and crowd agenda, accepts obstacles and political challenges, tax has no support, and is proposed by retail, there are big disagreements over spending crowded with other initiatives that are all heavy political lifts that take time and political capital, PC is key, determines the frequency and size of aid, paying 23, there's no guarantee official, coalition will hold under conflict suppression, find delay funding, ask for less, or embrace alternative tools to avoid damaging capital to further erode PC, aid is key, otherwise Russia wins, President Davis, 11-10 precarious moment in Kyiv, leaders spoke of desperation to send aid, unites the Republicans and Democrats, maintained by the President's purchase for defense of the American aid, Zelensky, a breach to America, Trump's commitments to peace through send, principles that can bring peaceful work to strengthen strategic partners rely on America's insights, so leadership makes nation launch and a solid 23 data, to guard a global economy collapse, China attack on Taiwan, if Pills wins this realistic high militarization, encourage extremists for Europe, conflict with new Russian new plan, new attack, no one in Europe, safe costs rise rapidly, so dominate Europe, the aim of the new world economy to Putin, the goal of war against Ukraine, China, Iran, the US, Middle East, destabilize Russian victory, herald the end of the world. Next off is the counterplan, a limited constitutional convention held by at least 34 of the states to pass a proposal to adopt a wealth tax, at least 38 of the states should ratify that proposal, and expected amendment. The amendments should be limited to exclusive decisions, they should not ratify proposals for additional constitutional changes to other decisions, solves calls of follow-on, avoids politics, Hoover, 21 countries provides about 3 states, convention ratified by 3/4, particularly Congress approves unbelieving when that was once a state shy of the convention, Congress reacted with a right amendment that departing effect could work today, composed field runaway, Article 5 can be for limited purposes, US is only federal, included 10 its ordinary, common meaning, the US means nation through federal government, the dictionaries are considered with this, given our ownership only the Fed. Next off is the English capital, the United States should, 1, block terrorism for passage during the presidency of the 47th president, unemployment tax cuts occur, the end of deportations declare, the Federal Reserve is indispensable and immune to any executive actions, risk substantially increase, progressive capital income taxation, require workers to leave a living wage, place 1 to 4, solve the Trump's negative policy, left 24 Trump, Trump's cause inflation, perhaps threats of Fed lynchment to global leadership, planks 5, solves federal evading everyday bus 24 capital income tax target, the corporate profits and individual returns easier to administer, growth more, practical approach to white taxing the wealthy target, invested dividends, interest, capital gains, direct approach, the taxing will account for vast majority capital tax revenues, while taxes have rarely been rare have been abolished for difficulty of implementation, efficiency, valuation, problem, unequal treatment, while predominantly tied up in inequality, the case first Brazil advantage. This could be the worst advantage on the entire topic. 1, no, there's no scenario for God. To internal link to broader international leading for Brazil, just that it would help Brazil in one example. 2, boundaries and neg argument, A, boundaries about Brazil placing initiatives on the forefront in the status quo. It's also rating countries renewables and defense, which is not the app. B, it's about Brazil gaining influence from floor time. The plan would obviously end that because it's one time, then everyone goes home, no more floor time. C, the reduced US-led multilateralism about China, India, and Russia. It is a country that's trying to reform the multilateral international order. It reduces US-led order abuse. Those countries oppose the US global order. Actors prove they can't solve by diversity, reviewing competitive analysis. Keratin, 21/5 of the world at risk of ecosystem collapsing. Australia, Israel, South Africa, India, Spain, Belgium, Pakistan, and Nigeria fly. This is the first index that pulls interactors to cross-compare around the world. UN developed governments failed to meet a single target to stem losses in the last decade. 1 and 7 had attack ecosystem recovery 30% among the G20. South Africa, Australia at the most at risk. LIM has a singular line saying it funds the cost of climate disasters, not solving climate funding. Hurricane relief and air conditioning. It's not the same as solving warming. I've inserted in 5. Is it also says Germany, Spain, and South Africa need to follow. And Spain is not part of the G20. No, because they don't have no, because they don't understand the consequences of warming. These are just assertions. Now the inequality advantages is that wealth gap is narrowing. No polarization. Monarch 23 low wage workers, better bargaining, reversal, fortune, rights, and wages pretty strong among workers under 40 without degrees, but unseen boost in income. Scholar who previously would have position now concludes wealth gap narrowing speed income to poor rose very fast, middle fairly fast, which is slugishly global conditions improving. Everyone look at the data trends. False growing more equal. This card, the Burnland cards are global polarization. They need to win advantage one for this to matter. The elite capture impact is 0. Democracy can't deliver fully goes below 18 governments have an ineffective way addressing climate as well as pollution by nuclear waste, cyber financial insecurity, inequality, debt, migration, and terror. Citizens are frustrated with performance. Some of partisans crowded with rent seekers, attention, no responsive preferences, failed to translate for policy. Policy, for example, gun control. Bolam is just citing Oxfam a bunch of times, and Oxfam says one-off taxes and banning shell companies are neither are part of the Zucman model. They defend Oxfam 23. Congress should explore one-off windfall tax on billionaire wealth tax, tackle active avoidance innovation, banning shell companies, and increase tax transparency. Global asset registry on all traditional types of wealth. Marty's study concludes they do not know anything. It's not predictive. And talks about a single past wealth tax. That's not the primary cause. Marty 23. Our analysis remains silent of the economic mechanisms and mechanisms underlying this effect would require more details in the micro data changes to wealth taxation. Not the most important driver. Other changes played a role. Only concedes the plate is insufficient. Only 24 full solution wealth inequality course. More comprehensive reward to grab reforms represents small but significant step. Zucman is a fraud. Miller 23. Zucman says to multi shareholders bear the entire burden of corporate taxation. 40% falls on labor. Overestimates for picture omitting refundable credits over say twice as much. Actually, it's on bottom 20. Illusion. Tax of decline. Former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers article data substantially inaccurate and misleading. Harvard canceled a job over concerns over about his data. Equality, 0 chance of a civil war. Only tiny fraction willing to fight linger. 18. If you think a civil war is imminent, get off Twitter. Digital competition driven. There's little of any actually none. This will change. Small number of hyperly polarized partisan votes in the country. Goes about business. Corporate 60 stats change violent protest. Bombing. No civil war. Cut the credit civil war. Go back to the advantage country. Should be the last rank now. Playing six inequality. Benefits 21 seem to be increasing minimum wage. Benefit 27 million capital economy going redistributed income party and correlation effects on revenue spending. Reduced spending for since lift for nearly 1 million out of poverty, employment affects essentially 0 reversing generation, rising income inequality, increased revenues, boosting care, pay for care workers, and trends into higher Medicaid payments.
Which card is that?
I finished the card on the advantage counterplan. I finished it. The only card I marked in the middle was Linker 18 at no civil war.
Wait, sorry, which one?
The only card I marked in the middle was Linker 18, which is zero chance of a civil war card. I marked it at no civil war.
Okay, cool. Everything else?
Yeah.
Very cool.
I guess not the debt stuff because you.
Status of the counterplans.
Conditional.
Kick planks.
Yeah.
Okay. Planks 1 to 4 on the advantage counterplan solves Trump's negative policies. What's the impact of that?
It's just like if you read a 1-year argument that Trump is going to kill the economy, it's preemptive.
Oh, okay, sure. Under the Constitutional Convention, is there a line that says in this card that a wealth tax would specifically pass?
It says that Congress can that states can pass anything. We are fiating, the states are passing it, so I'm confused with the argument.
How does it compete? Oh, the U.S. is only federal?
Yeah.
Okay. The economy DA, the Kaplan card is about businesses that don't have money and not able to tax things. How does this apply to the plan?
I'm confused. The argument is about people having a lot of money depresses business confidence because companies feel like they're being hurt for improved.
The plan, as according to the card that we specified for how it gets implemented, only applies to billionaires and is a 2% tax. How does this?
I'm really confused why you think this card is only about poor people. This card is obviously about businesses broadly, obviously rich people,
I'm
billionaires.
confused because the plan only applies to.
Yes, and billionaires own big companies. This is. Amazon and business confidence trading is bad.
Taxes in the status quo.
Increasing taxes is bad. Kaplan is specifically about wealth taxes.
Wait, okay. Where's the highlighted warrant for any of these arguments in the card? Can you give me a highlighted line?
Sure. It says there'd be new burdens on entrepreneurial business. That would hurt confidence because people would have new burdens.
Okay. Businesses have new burdens all the time. They have to do things like.
Okay, obviously, people implement plans all the time. People do things all the time. Wealth tax is really big. For the act of solvency, the wealth tax has to do a lot. Obviously, for it to do a lot, people would have a bigger perception to it. This is not very.
Okay, that's fine. The economy booms now. Specifically about where does it say that the overall economy, where does it say that the economy is strong and we're not gonna have a crash?
Wait, it says. The economy grew 1 point.
It says Wall Street grew. Why does that mean that the economy is strong?
It's the 5th best. Obviously the Wall Street is a major part of the economy broadly. The stock market is really big.
Wait. Why does the stock market mean that the economy is resilient and stable now? Is there a line in this card?
Well, obviously, if the stock market were to crash, that would hurt the economy.
If the stock market crashes.
Additionally, if you want to read arguments specific that this isn't the economy broadly, I can read more cards in the 2-hour that answer your 1-hour argument that the stock market is not key to the economy broadly.
Okay. Any like independent voters?
No. I mean, like the arguments that I've read in the
Yeah,
like all the
yeah,
conversations.
theoretical stuff.
No theory.
Okay, that's fine. I'll take that. Okay, so I'm at 222.
Okay.
Sorry, let me just see this here. Okay, so I'm just saying. The order is case advantage 1, advantage 2, then the opposite order.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna take a few more seconds to add something. Okay, cool. That was just 230 total. Everyone good? Okay. A well-tech solves warming by preventing people from investing in high-emission technology that solves global warming, causes a global spillover because the United States is the only region as it has right now that causes extinction, societal collapse. The multilateral situation is wrong. The no situation to be increased because the United States gets credit for so it's clear that the United States would get credit for the policy because they're the reason that it's not passing now. The Lynbrook highlight is wrong. You dropped Roland. It discourages investment in emissions. Also, dropped later the card says that we would reinvest into sustainable things, which means it would cause sustainability overall and broadly. The Germany, the Spain thing is wrong because Spain is a permanent temporary member of the G20. Also, the US, China are the biggest, which means if we solve those, we solve the no-gear highlight. Just as the past studies didn't, but this study does, which means it solves inequality advantage. The plan solves inequality while text narrows the racial wealth gap, which causes civil war from polarization, which causes instant extinction, global hotspots, etc. Polarization causes extinction from political gridlock. The wealth gap is not narrowing. Our evidence from 2024 much more recent says it's increasing now. The polarization stuff they said that we need spillover. We have spillover. You dropped it. The Oxfam stuff, it doesn't matter. Our card is, but the wealth tax part of Oxfam only, and our card is more because it's a bigger wealth tax. It's not just one off, which means the link is even better. The Marty study highlight is wrong because we have other cards that have more detailed data, and the warrants are good in those other cards. They have to disprove that. The Ali highlight is about grant reform, which is not the plan. The Zucman is a fraud. It's about the 2019 proposal, which stays in Zucman. This is about the 2024 G20 proposal. Obviously, they're credible, and it's about a different proposal. The zero chance of civil war is from a journalist, ours is from a researcher with science. It specifically says that radicalization curves prove that it's going to happen imminently. Credible has a different uniqueness conditions to our voting issue. We can't conceive one to take out the other, and it's impossible because we have to perform to contradict ourselves, and they can collapse on one, which is impossible to answer. The econ DA stock crash, inevitable large champs are value geopolitical and dead. O'Connell 11-4. Stock state the challenges large champ over value, excessive weight shift, opposed to value, excess liquidity, digital market valuation, company going strong for guidance, trigger dominant structure returns where Western Ukraine, Middle East, and Taiwan, interest that relative to the stock market, interest rates make it harder. Service of default started lead to financial risk, trouble engineering. Actually, I'll skip that card. Wait, why are there two of them? Kaplan is 0. Number 1 has no warrant. It just asserts it depresses innovation and confidence about the reason. Number 2 is about businesses generally, which is not assume the taxes only on billionaires they can handle it. The plan encourages productive investment in innovation. This is about everyone, but ours is only about rich people. What's 19? Well, taxes encourage greater innovation. Well, taxes unproductive, low rate of return. Well, taxes person effect unproductive, advice low productively start higher return. They do 3% of all total on entrepreneur. Low, no international empirics, no stock sell off link, no guarantee they sell off all stocks. They also have other hard assets they can sell, which will sell because they appreciate less than stock. No asset sellers shall sell Polanski, but owners like liquidity can transfer fraction of the business. And well, touch the original business owner has the option to recuperation of those section option to bargain. Successfully implemented artwork. No capital flight jobs to leverage, which means you can't escape the tax. No government spending link. They have no, actually that wasn't read either. Ukraine. Increasing aid surges to Ukraine and counteroffensive costs Putin red line enforcement as far as nuclear change Carson 914. So what is Ukraine to this very delivery gradual approaches to vital purpose, no accident wars, avoided escalation of elements. After ending situation, Ukraine attacks and defend the so called Russia's leverage relationship by Ukraine's breeding escalate. Should Ukraine achieve rapid escalation by sharply increase escalation resolve nuclear weapons, it can even probably retaliate Ukraine, increase possibility large nuclear change weapons. Every time an unready new system, there was accidental escalation, and increasing aid by sending weapons costs of Russian readiness, increased pressure for Putin to escalate when used. Equals 912. U.S. will and send missiles to Ukraine, like examples Washington breaking into Putin red lines. Why Russian also bring reference to arguing that Russian data must do more, and that more this pressure make it drastically Washington grows more confident. And then, if your Russian retaliation Putin's underground control force readiness, the underlying the draw for land, we limits what the U.S. would be able to keep. The only reason their impact cards is causes nuclear weapons is because the United States provides aid. It assumes that, which means that we take out their impact. Quantum capital number 1 Purdue shields say yes, we did plan anyway. 2 Purdue capital U.S. federal states. 2 unfortunately U.S. we use them since we use the sovereign physical territory of the United States. United States can be the 58th. United States means 58 any other territory. U.S. constant perception only unified national effort. Signals the U.S. is committed to emission reduction, which is what want to see. Also, permanent taxes not intrinsic because the Marines mandate that the actor does something textually not functionally just hold their offense not shift the debate in Afghan because our if process per other issues solves that he modeling internal bosses like the Conqueror less perception done that federal action that kills modeling TV's day for years. 2005 ratification can much longer than 27 but not rather than 2 years or 3 years later. That like the business government issued intensive public sentiment. 5 immediate CTA kind of want to see also says implementing the plan promptly. It's keeping me parasites that maybe we don't get started to make up the difference. No spill over no reason the policy. So someone said overall customer the process that the is part of each process would have still the actions to me when you should always block we kill saturation fairness and income tax. Number 1 Purdue both Purdue the capital after sales system advocates and measure is income and then can't solve. Well text key that alleviate G20 concerns to express part of the brilliant proposal that enables global modeling of climate self-power development. It's not the same policy, which means it does not model, can't solve climate. Well, no spillover and progressivity key that means living wage cannot solve it. Only well text with high wealth individuals instead of everyone achieves proper redistribution into low income households. Let's want to see Marty inserted reference. I'll send the insertion after and conditionality voting sheets that are arranged for every single living story which means run our expenses.
What were the voters?
Condo process 50 states differing uniqueness conditions. Yeah.
Condo process states uniqueness. Wait, what do you mean different uniqueness conditions?
You said the United States or like the Ukraine stuff.
Okay, sure. What's the warrant for different uniqueness conditions back?
It forces us to make like performative contradictions, and it means we cannot go for things like straight turns or in fact turns in dissents and insulates you from like
Sure. Okay, anything, okay, econ DA, what was like the third argument you made?
The third argument is like the plan encourages productive. There's the Watson 19.
Okay, Ukraine, anything exempted?
Yeah,
What?
like the analytics, like impact analysis of the bottom.
Oh, it's just the thing about like, only because US proves it, it provides nuclear weapons? the answer to the argument on case that like you reduce U.S.-led multilateralism?
Like
India, China, Russia.
yeah. Like it's unique for us because the United States gets the perception of like their dominance. The United States gets credit because they're the only thing stopping implementation globally, which means when the United States does it, it unifies a United States-led order since they're the ones spearheading the global cooperation.
The answer to no biod impact.
I didn't extend the biology.
Okay. Okay. The order is. Oh, I should set up the doc by now. Okay. The order is the economy DA, wait, sorry, the Ukraine DA, the economy DA, the advantage counter plan. Wait.
Ukraine, Econ, Advanced Counter Plan, Con. It's.
Did I just hit five? Okay. Do you guys get the doc?
I'm ready whenever.
Okay. So let me just get my doc things in order. Okay. And then on case it's advantage 1, advantage 2. Are you good?
Yeah.
Then oh.
The issue with the Ukrainian impact is you cannot go for an impact card without reading impact, even if it's considered multiple internal link impacts inside the launch of the insider impact card. It says not only that Russia would cause war, but rather that not just that Russia would cause war, but rather that the perception of Russia winning in Ukraine causes war in every other hotspot. China invades Taiwan, and Iran blows up the Middle East. Global proliferation because nobody believes in U.S. credibility anymore. Nobody believes in U.S. credibility anymore. It's super fast because the moment it's super fast. We've read uniqueness evidence from 2 days ago. This is the moment we said uniqueness evidence from 2 days ago. Russia, Ukraine needs USA now. That is the moment US will be destroyed. That obviously turns all their impacts. They're all way too far off. They require multiple tax seasons and broader Brazilian diplomacy, which cannot happen as fast as the app now. They've dread now the entirety of the nonsense. The entirety of this impact is nonsense because the impact turn was from last year's Ukraine ADA, which is just not responsive to this because it is responsive to a Ukraine aid passage that is already passed. This is a non-argument because even if you think Ukraine aid is bad at that point, that Ukraine aid has already passed. It thumps the impact turn, but you know that Russia winning in Ukraine will definitely cause extinction and banning U.S. Ukraine is the highest escalation outweighs the probability that wars for escalation. The nonsense with the U.S. does not have treaty commitments to Ukraine, whereas we do with NATO allies pushing back Russia back, and Ukraine is the best shot to win, avoid escalation in Russia. Push deeper into Eastern Europe, specifically when you conceded a win in Europe splits up NATO and lets Russia push into Baltic Sea and further Western Europe. Its fundamental thesis claim of the is that Russia wants to invade and not just invade Ukraine, but rather to invade the rest of Europe, which means that it's irrelevant now. The calls evidence there's no impacts to red lines. There's so many main systems when we cross them. It's all rhetoric, and they back out every time. I'll read the green part of the card. Russian television said, weapons cross a red line and have to provoke Russia, U.S. policy long class. Red lines in recent years, the Kremlin did little to back up claim. Red lines to imply of long-range weapons a red line. The new offensive ends the war for Ukraine. I'll skip that for now. I'll skip that for now. But the prolif is rapid and global, which is the impact. Prolif is rapid and global. We get new impact. Extensions to impacts inside the 1 and C because they were new impact. Prolif is rapid and global. Economist 21. Resentment for America's role as a steadfast satellite provoke interest in prolif. Japan operates a major facilities reactors. Japanese produce nukes in the event of a sharp deterioration of security. American promises of missions allies Japan, Sokoto, and Taiwan could produce nukes in 2 years or less. Turkey is being the case in point. Saudi Arabia is a prolif condition with widespread missiles. Lacks deals on fuel. 3 predicting computer design. Create pathways. Now cut the card and pathways. Now cut the card pathways. Their only argument that they've said on defense, the only defensive argument they've made is that the only scenario for going nuclear is the U.S. This is blatantly false when they've dropped the entirety of the impact card that says that it's just just not the case because that's what the opposite of what the rest of the card says because every other country goes nuclear even if the U.S. doesn't. Regardless, you should vote on this risk. We've read defense to their scenario, but they read no defense to an higher impact, which means they just cannot go for this impact turn now. I'll kick all the counterplans on the Ukraine ADA, which means they cannot win on the permutation. Obviously, I'll insert conditionality here. Counter-nutrition, status quo is always logical option. Counter-nutrition, we get what we did. 1 neck flaps actually still today. This works persuasive in the negative options to choose the best advocacy negated 2 after rating Af condo. Condos key testing each internal link and plan key. In 1 round, it's also offenses. They can crossplay. Af key warrants to check sloppy counterplans to be arbitrariness. Reject the with the resolution makes the main for the absolute no negative which goes down for Af condo way which was based on madness. Tries to push multiple options. Play extra meaningless contracts which means Af sends their best offense. This spell fails. It's vague and defined. Let's Af choose the torn makes multiple counterplans impossible. The Af doesn't read 2 or more world peace force terms, which means it links to the standards that reasonability. We get on 1 or 3 prevents substance cards and prevents by 2 hour from infinite 2 9 unions. I'm not going to answer the uniqueness conditions argument is literally just conditionality bad with a different name, which means all the above arguments answer it because the thesis of conditionality is going to be arguments with different uniqueness positions, which means to say that we don't get you different uniqueness positions. The logic, the conditionality is bad. Now the econ DA, I'll concede every no link argument. There's no impact turn, which means it's all irrelevant regardless. Ukraine is far bigger than everything else. Congon, I'll concede the perm. It's just a test of option theories, which Congon is just a perm. Congon, I'll concede the perm. It's just a test of option. I'm kicking it. The theory, the Concon bad theory, counterposition. The neck can be constitutional, conventional counterplan specifically, not just state counterplan, general political education first have to defend the entirety of the internal labor crafting unique offensive Concon, which means based on by use politics and constitution are predictable when we're winning competition debate. They shows to defend federal action, make proper federal reform, key warrants. They've showed entire app of the federal government, and global modeling. So you should be ready for it. Perp check abuses. They feel committed to the counterplan and non-competitive, and they can permit the extra topical parts of the counterplan. Education waste fairness. The only thing we together around after actually as mark education waste fairness off your flow. The education process counterplans. They're process counterplan voter. We meet. We're not process counterplan. We don't figure out the app. We're Concon, which is a different actor. One we can read process counterplans. One night flights. They set the terms of debate. Another plan better than us. Multiple options. Sure. The negatives auto list after the one negate. Plus ways to get charges and issues for abstracts and get to it. Psychology. Cosplay everything from conditionality bad. And one year theory should be reason direct the argument on a team because they can infinity 200 units, which is impossible. Physical dynamic. Now the case advantage 1. This advantage is so 0 because there's no logical argument for the U.S. would get credit for anything. They've not extended the BioD impact, which means multilateralism is definitely 0. Because even if the U.S. is holding out, then obviously they are the ones who are going to be blamed. They've dropped. The argument is that Brazil increases its international influence. Brazil increases international influence of China and Russia. That's the opposite of U.S. multilateralism, which means they cannot solve any part of the case, which is straight turn to the case because it means that the reduced U.S. multilateralism. Second is that they simply cannot solve any part of the climate change scenario. They can simply not solve any part of the climate change scenario. You should read their evidence after the round. It does not say solving climate change. What? It does contribute towards preventing the effects of climate change, which is not the same as solving for the entirety of the, which is simply not the same as solving for the entirety of the, which is simply not the same for solving the entirety of the impact. Solving for the entirety of the impact, regardless, all of these impacts are so slow. Ukraine is way faster and makes it destroys global credibility. If the U.S. fails in Ukraine, obviously nobody cares about them in the global stage. It destroys the U.S. multilateral order. Now the second advantage is definitely also 0 because they've not properly answered the indites of their evidence. First is that every time I read an author indict, they said we've read all their authors, we've indicted all of them. First, the Oxfam indict is that we read it the Oxfam indict, we've indicted the article that advocates for wealth tax. It says that a wealth tax is not sufficient. It is a small but significant step. Marnie says the same. Oatley says the same thing. Both of these articles agree that a wealth tax is not sufficient to solve inequality because there are other issues that we need to implement. The argument that it would be more because a wealth tax is bigger than one-off wealth tax. The articles we need both a wealth tax and a one-off wealth tax, which means they simply cannot solve for any of inequality regardless. Destruction of Ukraine obviously awaits.
Cool. I've got one for you.
Okay. Order is Econ Ukraine case. Everyone good? Okay. 2-hour drop to straight turn on the econ test said, coach, we'll concede the no link, but there was no link that got out of the link turn that we explicitly read about innovation. We said no link because the Kaplan card is bad, and does not have a warrant for why the plan would collapse things like innovation, but the Kaplan card still says that innovation is key to the overall economy and is the still main internal link that they have to the economy. You cannot concede the no link because the link turn was not the same as the no link argument, and there were two different arguments in the first place. I'll extend unique is here dropped. The stock market is facing significant challenges now because stocks are overvalued. This is the reason why financial crisis will happen, because the stock market is high, there is excessive liquidity, and our evidence says that it could, quote, lead to a financial crisis in the near future. Also, you have conceded the innovation straight turn. The plan encourages productive investment and innovation in the context of rich people. Their evidence is about everyone, but in the context of rich people, a wealth tax would encourage greater innovation because wealthy taxpayers would be unproductive. Wealthy taxpayers would earn a lower rate of return because a wealth tax would disproportionately affect the unproductive parts of their wealth, and those owners would seek to deploy their assets more strategically because they're getting taxed on their wealth. They want to make more and more wealth because otherwise they're going to lose as much wealth. Our evidence says that the effect of a wealth tax would be that there would be a 55.3% tax on someone like a bondholder, which is less innovationary, and a 5.2% tax rate on an entrepreneur, which is more innovationary. This is empirics and statistics that prove that it increases innovation and solves things like economic downturn. That means that we access the impact. The junk card is great, and it's a reason why it takes out the impact the Ukraine TA, because the junk card explicitly says that economic downturn would cause revisionism, and it would cause Russia's invasion to increase, which would cause Russia to win in the first place. It says that it would cause aggression in Russia's invasion in China in the SCS, which means if the 2AR wins, there is a perception link about the United States being bad and causing proliferation in other areas. This causes the same exact risk of a proliferation, which means the impact is functionally the same on both sides, which means that any risk of an impact on case should be sufficient to outweigh, since you've conceded that the economic decline would cause every impact of the Ukraine DA, which means that it is a net zero, and that is the only piece of offense, which means any risk of case should be sufficient to outweigh case. We're going for scenario 2. You conceded civil war. Civil war would immediately cause conflicts in every single. Actually, no, it's fine. We'll go for elite capture actually. Conceded that if you conceded the impact, elite capture solves every single existential risk, it has a structural impact. It makes solving things like climate change, pandemics, etc. that may cause imminent human extinction way more likely. The only answer the wealth tax definitely solves. It lowers the racial wealth gap and prevents it lowers the wealth gap and prevents us from having inequality in the first place. The only answer was the Oxfam Index, but you conceded that the only two issues with the Oxfam Index are not issues. Number one, they said the Oxfam is about two different policies. Doesn't matter because our evidence is in the context of the wealth tax part of the Oxfam Index. Number two, they said that it is about a one-off tax. This is literally Flo's AF. This is if the AF is literally better. If a one-off tax, if a one-off tax can definitely solve every single one of our impacts, then a wealth tax that is not just one-off, that happens every single year, obviously can also solve every single one of our impacts, which means the Oxfam Index fundamentally flows AF. Independently, this is just defense. And look, any risk of inequality having a negative impact is sufficient to outweigh because you conceded a straight turn, and that the straight turn links to the same impact as the Ukraine TA, which means that it is a tiebreaker.
Oh, good man. I'm gonna just go outside for a second.
Yeah, I'm just turning off.